Matt, we don't like harking back obviously previous games, but I'm just wondering whether you've heard from Football League or the referee or anything from Saturday after what happened in injury time?
Yeah, no, we haven't, and we've asked for feedback. The incident's been and gone, and we've moved on. Our focus is on this weekend, but we have asked for feedback, and we're waiting to hear back. We haven't had anything as of yet.
It must be harder though to take almost when you've put all the work in, and we know everyone's human and human error comes, but when it's something so obvious.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I don't mind human error in many ways, because we all make mistakes in life. No one's perfect, none of us are perfect, but I think the thing I'm starting to realise is when there's so much hard work and dedication that goes into your week, the boys take on board the messages we wanted to come out. So much of that comes out in a Saturday afternoon. You've put all that hard work and effort into it, and shown some real quality. We did it, especially in the second half. Some of the moves we made that we've watched back this week were really good, and we're really pleased with so much that came out in the game to get so close to taking what would have been a very good point away from home for us. I think that probably compounded the error from the officials and made it feel all the worse.
But as you say, you have to move on very, very quickly, I imagine.
Most certainly. By the time that had been and gone, we said our piece. We spoke to them after the game, and we then watched the game back with unemotional eyes, because, as I've spoken about several times since I've been here, it's about the performance and it's about the process of how we're going to keep improving and moving forward. I thought that watching the game back, as I felt on Saturday afternoon, that we were very decent in the game. I thought that for a team that's chasing the playoffs, we went and matched them, we went toe to toe with them, and I was really proud of how our lads approached the game and how they performed during the game. So there's plenty of positives to take from the game. We've watched them. There's loads of things that we could have done before the cross came in for the goal. So irrespective of what happened in the middle of the box and the decision that could have been given, we want to be tighter and stop crosses coming into our box. So we've actually worked on that this week as well. So we're not just going to hide behind a decision from the officials. Totally not. It's still our responsibility to stop the ball coming in the box and be better in what we can do. So whilst we all know about that, it's certainly not something to hide behind. We want to be better than what we're doing still.
Do you look at those last two league performances though and say, if we can hit those levels every week or get even close to those levels every week, we will get more points than we lose?
Most certainly, yeah. I mean, again, we've reiterated it to the players this week. We've watched it back. We know if we keep hitting those performance levels, the results will improve for us. We know that if we keep the performances anywhere near where they've been over the last 3 or 4 games. I'm looking at Crewe, I'm looking at Doncaster, I'm looking at Saturday at Mansfield, and thinking if we can replicate those performances more often than not, then we'll be absolutely fine. And
do you sense the players fully believe that as well? You don't have to sort of talk to individuals. They might be a bit down when they've done all that and yet still it hasn't quite worked out, not through their own fault. Do you have to talk to the players about that or not? Are they sort of a tight-knit group?
They're a tight-knit group, and I'm hearing it from them as well as me telling them. That I'm hearing voices in the change room straight after the game about how disappointed they are, but how they deserve so much more from it. So they're knowing it. They can see it. They can sense it. We show them evidence after every game of what they've done well, and we show them the evidence of what we need to improve. So they certainly know both sides of that from us, but it's also coming from them as well. The belief hasn't been hurt. It's almost been strengthened their resolve to make sure it goes right, because they know that at this moment in time the performance is deserving more, and all they can concentrate on and all we can concentrate on is keep trying to replicate those performances, replicate that and improve obviously as well, and we'll be okay.
Because you are scoring goals. You never seem to score scrappy goals. You only seem to score outstanding goals. Another one last week, obviously, as well. I guess your strikers are probably looking for those ones in the 6-yard box, that sort of thing, aren't they?
Exactly. And again, it's almost like you've been in this building this week, Glenn. It's what we've been speaking about. We want some scrappy ones. We want some scruffy goals. We want balls being delivered into the box, so we have a chance of getting those scruffy types. We don't want to keep relying on a newbie free kick or a strike from Hannah or Sampson's against Doncaster. We want to score more goals in the 6-yard box. We've been focusing this week on providing some more ammunition for our strikers. So we've done plenty of work, and we've enjoyed the week, and the lads have applied themselves as they have done since we've been in the building, and we're looking forward to Saturday's game.
You'll tell me if I'm wrong or not, but just on the evidence of the last few games I've seen since you've been in charge since the start of the season, it does look as though you are getting more bodies in the box when you are in the attack. More players are committing to sort of get in there. Start of the season it was 1 or 2 and you're thinking we'll put the ball in, there's no one there. There do seem to be 4 or 5 people in there now.
Yeah, again it's the evidence that I'm seeing is that we are getting bodies in the box. We're trying to create as good a chance as we possibly can. We still feel like there's a lot of work that we can create create more chances. But you're right, we've asked for a commitment to the attack when we go. We want bodies in the box. The percentage of goals scored when there's 3 or more bodies in the box goes through the roof, and we've asked for that. Whilst, especially away from home, you've got to make sure that we're locked out on the edge of the box and we don't leave ourselves open to the counter-attack. So it's about balance for me, and making sure we try and create the right type of chances for our forwards, but all over the pitch as well, whilst having a balance to our team. So there's been lots of talk about that, lots of work on the training ground, lots of analysis with the lads in front of the screen as well, and we're trying to round ourselves off as best we can. I think definitely in my time since I've been here, I've been pleased with the improvement in the performances, but that has to keep going. We have to keep striving for better. We have to keep striving for more, and if we keep doing that, then, as I've said before, I'm really sure that the results are just around the corner.
I look at Sutton, and since they came into the league, they've had a relatively settled side. Matt Gray's not made great big changes there, which is probably helping them, but they're a sort of funny side to sort of predict, aren't they?
Yeah, I think he's done an incredible job, Matt. I think he's done a really good job that he should be very proud of, and as a football club he's improved them immeasurably, and they've come into the football league and been absolutely comfortable and fine with it all. So they've got a fairly settled style of play, a fairly settled tactical setup. So we've been watching them this week. We know what, again, as always, we know what they're going to bring, and we've tried to make a plan to make sure that we're in the best that we can possibly be against them. And
just finally for me, you've got players sort of buzzing around John McKinley, Matty Longstaff, I understand, all in the mix now as well. So it does seem to all sort of be coming together now.
Yeah, I think we've got some big players that have come back from injury in the last few weeks. Obviously, Sampson's come to the fore. Kwesi's back. Emma Hughes is now contributing. Big John's now back on the training ground. So we are getting some players back on the grass. We've got real good competition for starting 11 and for the bench. It's a really big squad here, as I said when I first come in. It's really big. So it's about managing that the best we possibly can and making sure that we pick the right team on a Saturday.